What is going on with so many professional athletes getting arrested in 2025? I cannot be alone in my shock here. I know that I can't be. If you watch this channel or if you pay attention to the news, and I would say that this is all over the mainstream news because a lot of these headlines involving these athletes are really attention grabbing. So if you're paying attention, you will have noticed what I believe is a lot of arrests in the last several months. I mean, we are talking Mark Sanchez, right? I mean, he obviously is no longer in the NFL, but Mark Sanchez, Pat Beverly, I guess he's a free agent. I mean, I had to really do some digging on sports and kind of the backgrounds of these guys. But yeah, Patrick Beverly, he's a free agent, NBA player. And then we have Antonio Brown, NFL player or former NFL player, who a lot of people think has CTE. And that's kind of why he sometimes acts erratically. He's being charged with a second-degree attempted red rum. And Patrick Beverly, I didn't even get into the charges. Patrick Beverly is charged with a third-degree felony, an alleged assault on his sister. I'm going to give some updates on that in a minute because he has filed some subpoenas. And then Mark Sanchez, and he's being charged with a felony, a battery, which is essentially an assault, but that's what they call assault in Indiana. They call it battery. But I haven't even gotten into the MLB prop betting scandals or illegal betting scandals. Emmanuel Clase, Luis Ortiz from the Cleveland Guardians. I've discussed this before on this channel, and I've also been to all of those hearings. If you're not aware about that, these guys are pitchers that were basically accused of throwing pitches in order to make money for themselves and other gamblers. I go like this, gamblers, because it's clearly illegal. Oh my gosh, my scrunchie. It's so 2004, forgive me. Now you know the real me. But yeah, then we can cross over into the NBA prop betting scandal and also the NBA rigged poker game scandal, which involves Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones. I was at that hearing and arraignment actually 2 days ago. That was crazy. Chauncey Billups, he pled not guilty and he was arraigned and he had to post a $5 million bond. He's being charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. And this is in connection with these mafia rigged poker games. Again, all alleged. And of course, as they say, the mafia doesn't exist. But he's being tied to Chauncey Billups, that is, one game in particular in Las Vegas in 2019, where they're claiming that he took home $50,000 and he knew that these machines were quote unquote rigged and they were, helping the mob and cheat, and Chauncey was getting a chunk of that. I think a lot of people are really confused as to why he would risk it all when he makes millions upon millions of dollars and he made 50 grand. Obviously that's a lot of money to you and I, but to someone like him to risk it all, that's crazy. And then we have Terry Rozier, who he's being charged in a separate indictment, but he's being charged separately because of his alleged illegal prop betting scandal where he faked injuries in order to make other gamblers money, and then he got cuts of that as well. And actually, there is a guy that was mentioned as a relevant individual. Gosh, I love quotation marks, by the way. I feel like I use them all the time. And, half the time, I don't even really know why I'm using them. I just do. So forgive me. But yes, anyway, so this one man, Timothy McCormick, he was actually mentioned as a relevant or other relevant individual in the October 16th indictment against Rozier, but he was already indicted on wire fraud conspiracy charges. He already pled guilty and he's going to be sentenced, this guy, McCormick, in January of 2026. And the government is recommending, I believe it's 41 to 51 months for him. So that's about 3 to 4 years. And McCormick, get this, he's also tied to Jontay Porter, his gambling schemes. Now, Jontay Porter, he is set to be sentenced for his wire fraud conspiracy charge as it pertains to illegal betting December 10th in the Eastern District of New York, which is coming up. So his sentencing got postponed multiple times. But I am just, in shock lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe I never paid attention to athletes getting in trouble before. Is that possible? I mean, I just feel like so many are getting arrested in the last 4 months, more than I've ever seen, because I'm the one sitting here and posting updates on X and writing articles for lamag.com on all of these arrests, all of these new motions, and gosh, what have you. So really quickly, Mark Sanchez, he's got the criminal case. Jury selection starts in the battery case on December 11th, but he's concurrently got a civil case. His alleged victim, Perry Toll, who was allegedly brutally attacked by Sanchez. He's claiming, gosh, that he has disfigurement, PTSD, the works. So he is suing Sanchez, Fox Corp, and he just added the parent company of the St. Elmo Steakhouse that he is claiming overserved Sanchez to his civil suit. And his team recently filed a motion, and the judge is cool with it, basically saying that normally they get 25 questions to ask defendants and not defendants. Yeah, actually, yes, defendants. Sorry. Defendants like Sanchez and Fox Corp and Hughes in the lawsuit. But this is such an extensive case that they are going to be granted more than 25 questions. Additionally, Patrick Beverly, he seems to be gearing up for his defense. And this is kind of interesting. So because he was charged with a third-degree felony in Texas, I was kind of researching just laws, in Texas as it pertains to other states like New York. But in Texas, every felony, I think it's one of 3 states where it's kicked over to a grand jury automatically. So many of you are aware, or maybe not, because I don't want to say I recently became aware, but up until a few years ago, I wasn't really sure, I guess I didn't realize that a defendant really doesn't take part in any grand jury proceedings, or, the defense, I should say, doesn't take part in any. But Pat Bev, his team filed a subpoena, and they are asking the Fort Bend Sheriff's Office to turn over all body cam footage, 911 recordings, anything pertaining to 3 separate incidents at the home where his arrest happened. So one incident was labeled 2025, so I'm pretty sure that was his arrest. But then 2 other incidents, they start with a 24. So I guess I'm making a very educated guess that these other incidents happened in 2024, and maybe, just maybe, they'll change the narrative to the current arrest or the family dynamic or something. There's got to be a reason why his team wants these. And also, he had a name on this subpoena, and I put it on my Twitter. I mean, I can share it just to show you, but he had a name on this subpoena where I looked it up, and this name appears to be a private investigator in the Houston, Texas area. So let me pull this up just to show you guys, because why not, right? Here it is. I am so detailed in my tweets because normally if I have a solid piece of case information like this, I will do a write-up or an article right after. So this is the subpoena, and let's see. Yeah, it says, please contact Jim Willis, the defense attorney, upon receipt of this subpoena. And, it just has his email. But yeah, I looked up a Jim Willis. He is a PI. So he is clearly looking for any type of information to help his client, who I am assuming is Pat Beverly. And there will be a court appearance December 3rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. for all of this stuff to be turned over to Patrick Beverley and his team. So, I was just sitting here like, well, wait a minute. He doesn't need a defense for a grand jury proceeding. But what the defense can do is they can submit something called a grand jury packet, which can just include letters from his lawyers, character references, favorable evidence, and explanations or rebuttals, photos, screenshots, documents, whatever. However, the prosecutors control whether a grand jury sees this packet or not, but most DAs, from what I have read, do pass this along. So maybe he's doing it, just for that. We'll see. Take this down. Antonio Brown, he was arraigned last week. I actually live streamed it on this channel. Super uneventful. It was on Zoom with his attorney, Mark Eiglarsh, who's great. And, he is due back in court in December, and he actually waived his appearance. So it'll just be attorneys for that. And it's a status conference hearing. So nothing too crazy. But with Chauncey Billups, the judge said he wants this to go to court, the mafia NBA poker rigged scandal, whatever you want to call it, or let's just make it easier. We'll keep it Operation Royal Flush, which is what the media is calling it. He wants that to go to trial September of 2026. It's a crazy, now designated complex case. So the next status hearing or status conference on this is not until March of 2026. So by that point, they should have turned over, the government should have turned over 1 terabyte of discovery, which is a lot. There's a lot here. So my guess is that a lot of these guys, these mob guys, will take a plea, probably Damon Jones. I think Chauncey Billups is the only one that really is going to go to trial and take a chance here, because he seems to have the most to lose, in my opinion. But anyway, okay, so I am taking a break for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So just forgive me. I know you'll miss this a lot. I'll actually miss doing it. And I'll be at my in-laws. Yay. And I'll pop back on Friday from my in-laws for a Friday podcast. So again, thank you everyone for watching, listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you don't already. I'm Lauren Conlin, and thanks again for watching Los Angeles Magazines, our daily crime, scandals, and pop culture news.